I made a video exactly 3 months ago called Reversing Every F1 Result from 2020 Season. In the comment sections of that video, a man by the name of Mr Spoony, listen, I don't know what that means, but hey, he said, if you make a 1986 video, I will mail you a block of cheese through Prime. Now, as much as I do not want Mr Spoony's block of cheese, I thought, why not give the people what they want? And so this is the 1986 season, every result reversed. So the way this works is essentially I take every result from that season. There were 16 rounds, and I took the result of all the finishing drivers, flipped them, and gave them the 2020 point scoring system. Probably the stupidest idea anyone has ever made on this website. But listen, the people asked for it, and I deliver. So without further ado, round one in Brazil that year was... well, it was won by Nelson Piquet, but in our world, it was won by Teo Fabi, followed by Johnny Dumfries, Elio De Angelis. Again, quick note, this was literally 20 years before I was born, so if I pronounce names wrong, that is not my fault. I don't even know some of these people. We have Strife, Berger, Brundle, Arnoux, Lafitte, Senna, Piquet, and then the rest of the drivers you can see on the right is 25 drivers. There were more in that championship, but I just put the top 25. Surely no one cares after that, right? I don't know, hopefully. But we'll move on from round one in Brazil, where Teo Fabi takes the lead, to round two in Spain, where Fabi would come fourth, and the winner would be Patrick Tambay, so he gets the 25 points. I didn't do any fastest laps, but the other interesting thing to note here is 9th and 10th position is DNF, because only 8 drivers finished this race. In 1986, not very many drivers finished. The cars were a lot less unreliable, so only 8 drivers finished. So the actual order was Senna, Mansell, Prost, Rosberg, Fabi, Berger, Boots and Tambay, but obviously reversed. Tambay gets the win. We move on now to Imola, where Tambay is still in the lead, Fabi is still in the lead, even though he is not in the point-scoring positions in Imola, because it is Marc Surer who takes 25 points, followed by Brundle, Boots and Patrice, Rosberg, Johansson, Berger, Piquet and Prost. And again, the 10th position, there was none, only 9 drivers finished the race. But you can see on the right now, the championship's kind of starting to shape up. Fabi's taken an early lead, but a couple race winners, Tambay and Surer, as well up there. But Brundle, Berger and Boutsen are currently following Teo Fabi the closest. And you've got Lafitte, Piquet, Senna right at the bottom. And then some drivers with 0 points. You'll see as we go further on, some of these drivers drop off the table because they have less points than the top 25. So that's why that will happen. Moving on to round 4 in Monaco, Jonathan Palmer takes the win there, grabbing himself 25 points. And we have a change of lead because Teo Fabi doesn't score any points, and Thierry Boutsen, the Belgian, he takes 5th with 10 points, overtaking him now with a 6-point lead over Teo Fabi. Marc Surer is joint second with Fabi on 37 points. So we move on again to round 5, and Philippe Strife now takes the lead with a win in Belgium. So I think it might be Philippe Strife, who knows? But he takes the lead with a big win in Belgium. Alan Jones gets his first... oh no, sorry, he had 2 points already. So he takes a big chunk of points in second place. Berger with 15, Surer 12, Patrice 10, Fabi 8, finally getting back into the points. Prost, Lafitte, Alboreto and Johansson pick up the bottom 4 places. Obviously, if you know the actual 1986 season, it was won by Alain Prost. So maybe keep an eye on him just as a bit of a comparison to the real life. Where did the winner come? But we move on again to round 6 in Canada, where a Rothengatter, who making a debut in this season. Well, a debut in the points this season. He wasn't in round 1, and there's a couple drivers who jump teams, etc., and it gets very confusing. This took way longer than it should have done to do. But anyway, Rothengatter, 25 points, so he moves up all the way to 9th straight away, or joint 8th in the standings. Philip Strife extends his lead at the top with a 2nd place finish because his rivals, Sura, Berger, Fabi, don't get on the points. You can see Jones is there, Brundle, Alboreto, Lafitte, Arnoux, Senna, Rosberg, Piquet all scoring, but none of the top guys. So there's the table. Only 3 left with 0 points, moving into round 7 in Detroit in America, and another first-time winner in Warwick, Derek Warwick, and again Strife extending that lead a lot, dominating this championship here, and now with 91 points by round 7, which is nearly the halfway point. Round 8 is the halfway point, so going into nearly the halfway, he's on 91 points, but behind him it's really close. 49 points for Sura, Berger 46, Fabi 45, Boutsen 43, so it's really close. Strife in 2nd, as I said, extending the lead. Palmer getting a few more points on the board in 6th place now. Dumfries, Patrice, Mansell, Alboreto, Prost, Lafitte, Senna, all scoring. Bottom of the point scorers is Senna, just behind Piquet, but you can see Ginzani and Nannini still on 0 points, and there are a few other drivers on 0 points, but obviously they are not in the top 25 because they may have only had 1 or 2 races and they crashed out, or car failed, more likely. Round 8 in France, another brand new winner, and it is Dana, who is... I don't like this man, Christian Danner. I don't know what he was like in real life. Don't know how good he was a driver. But for the pure fact that he drove for 2 teams, made calculating this just a little bit harder. So Danner gets a win in round 8, putting him in 17th place. A win doesn't really get you that high anymore because 25 points only puts you in 17th or joint 15th. But Strife with 91 in the lead, even though he doesn't score and Brundle does, taking 2nd place. He's still got a very large gap. It is not marginal at all. The only marginal gaps are in the midfield, a very tight midfield, really, all the way from 15th to 5th is only 20 points in it, really, and so a win would move you up a hell of a lot, and we will see that throughout this. You'll see that actually in round 9 with Palmer. After round 8, Palmer sat in 8th position. After round 9, he moves up to 3rd with the win. Warwick in 2nd, Dumfries 15th. Strife extending that lead with 12, Brundle 10, Arnoux 8, Prost 6, Piquet 4, Mansell 2 points, and only 9 finishes meant that no one got the extra 1 point at the end. And you can see on the right, Brundle takes 2nd place, Palmer takes 3rd, Warwick takes 4th, Sura is in 5th, Berger in 6th, Fabi in 7th, so on. Nannini at the bottom with 0, but again, there's still Ginzani, etc., who have not enough points to make it onto the top 25, or 0, joint last. In round 10 in Germany, Alan Berg is a first-time competitor, and he takes a win, along with Johansson, Berger, Jones, Tambay, Warwick, Prost, Rosberg, Arnoux and Mansell, all in that top 10 there, scoring points. And that means with Berg getting onto the score sheet, that means Ayrton Senna goes into 25th with 12 points, and all the other drivers who have scored 0 or only 1 to 11 are not in the top 25, so they won't be there. So if your favourite driver from 1986 only scored 8 points in this, then they might not be in the top 25 by the end either. But that is it in terms of round 10 Germany. Strife still with around a 37 point lead up front. Round 11 Hungary, that doesn't change massively. He doesn't extend the lead this time because Jonathan Palmer takes home 25 points, meaning he is on 90 points in 2nd, and Strife in 3rd takes home 15, so the gap becomes 28 points. As you can see, Philip Strife on 118 and Palmer on 90, but another brand new competitor in Elliott. So he joins the top 25 in 24th, Philippe Alliot, with 18 points, pushing Senna now out of the top 25. Means he's not even on the board anymore. 12 points is not enough to get in the top 25, even though he did get 9th in this race with 2 points. So you can see that's how the standings line up. And just look how close it is from, Sura 49, Johansson 48, Tambay 47, two drivers on 45, 43, 42. Super close, kind of from 3rd all the way down to kind of 12th area. It is really close. And in round 12, Austria, that doesn't really change, but Ginzani, Pierre Cario, Ginzani, he takes 25 points, pushing him onto the leaderboard and knocking off De Angelis with 15 points. So that even isn't enough points now. If you had a 3rd place finish, you would not get onto the leaderboard in the top 25. Strife and Palmer stay the exact same distance away. None of them score points. The other point scorers are Arnoux, KK Rosberg, Roffengatter, Berger, Dana, Tambay, Jones, Johansson and Alboreto for that race in Austria in 1986. I just can't believe that anyone's truly going to care about this. I think I guess it's a bit interesting for the one guy that asked, and obviously I had nothing else to do because it is the holidays and I've got a lot of ideas. So there will be a lot of videos. Quick interlude to let you know that although I have had a 2-month break, it was because there was a lot going on with the Euros, and then I've been on holiday, so I've had a lot of stuff to do, but I'm back for round 12 in Italy, where a brand new scorer again, Alex Caffey, will score 25 points, which is only enough for 23rd. It's barely enough to get on the leaderboard, only by 4 points. Again, pushing off Felipe Alliot, and Strife does score 15 points here, and Palmer doesn't score any, but Brundle scoring 18 means that he overtakes Palmer again for 2nd place, and Strife still has a fairly decent lead. He has a 19-point gap to Brundle in 2nd place, so only a win away, Brundle, from taking that top step on the standings, and a World Drivers' Championship, maybe, who knows. We'll move on, though, to round 14, with only 3 rounds to go now. And in round 14, in Portugal, Alan Berg takes his 2nd win. It's only 2 point scoring, 2 wins. So he takes 50 points, putting him into 14th position, just behind Teo Fabi, who's had a big drop-off from the beginning. If you look at where he had a race win, he was leading for 2-3 races, but he's dropped all the way back to 13th with 53 points. And Philip Strife now running away with it maybe a bit, who knows, because he's now on 133 points after scoring, and Jonathan Palmer in 2nd place, overtaking Brundle, but still around 27-ish, or 25, I'm not good at quick maths. He's around 30 points behind Philip Strife in the lead. Going into the penultimate round in Mexico, round 15, Alan Berg takes another big win, getting himself 66 points altogether, 25 from that race. He moves up all the way into 5th. But with this race, with the gap that Philip Strife has now, with only 1 race to go, it means that Jonathan Palmer cannot win, Martin Brundle cannot win, Berger cannot win the championship, and it would be round 15 in Mexico where Philip Strife is crowned champion of the world in Formula 1 in 1986. So it was Strife winning. That's big for, obviously, Tyrrell, which is who he raced for, having their driver win the championship. But other things to note after Mexico is that Arnoux takes a big step up into 6th, coming 2nd. Nannini scoring points at the last minute. He goes and grabs himself 15 points. Isn't enough to get him in the top 25, so we're not really going to be noticing him. But he does get that. Along with De Cesaris, he scores his first points. Johansson high up there, Patrice as well in 5th and 4th respectively, going into the final round to determine the championship for 1986 reversed. And Fabi takes a win. The man who wins the first race wins the last, and it boosts him up very nicely into 5th place. Palmer takes 2nd, nearly catching Strife, but just not quite. And Elliott in third with 15 points means that he moves back into the top 25. Palmer, Elliott, Arnoux, Dumfries are kind of the main ones who benefit from this last race, and you can see that is the final standings. So here is on the right the final standings of the championship in 1986, reversed, and the constructors, only the top 10, because there were around 13, 14, 15 constructors. Not all of them raced every race. It gets confusing in the past, and so I've just gone with the top 10. You have other teams there, but I think you only want to be focusing on the top, really. And Tyrrell sits on the top very comfortably, 249 points to Arrow's 179. So they have a 70-point gap at the top. Arrows do obviously take second, and 10 points behind them is Zakspeed with 169 points, so 10 points behind. Then another 14 points behind Zakspeed is Benetton, who would take fourth in the constructors. 4 points behind them is Ligier, I think that's how you say it. That's how I've heard it pronounced in many different ways, but that's what I'm going to go with. Brabham takes sixth place with 135 points, 25 points behind them, and it is Lola in seventh, the Ford-powered car, and Ferrari take eighth place. Osella Alfa Romeo, which is who they are. If you watch F1 now, you'll know them better as Alfa Romeo. That's who they were powered by. Ninth place with 100 points, and McLaren take 10th. How that differs to the actual standings is obviously Williams won that, and they would have been in 11th position in this, but obviously they're not there because I show the top 10. But that is how it differs to real life. That's all. That is 16 rounds of the 1986 season reversed. This is, probably the most crazy video I've ever done, and I will be back to normality with some simpler videos to understand, maybe. But definitely, if you have any kind of experiments like this, just pop them in the comments, and like Sir Spoony over there, you might just get chosen, and I might just do it because I'm bored and I have nothing else to do. Hope you've enjoyed. As always, do the good stuff, because we are growing pretty fast right now, and it's cool to see. 170 something subscribers as I'm recording this. Let's make that 200 if you can. Only takes a second, why not? And just keep watching the videos, keep liking or whatever. If you do, if you don't like, then don't like it, I guess. But hey ho, hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you soon, very soon, because I've got a lot of videos coming this summer in a bit.